Welcome back to digital class, and now we're looking at test R2 heuristic problem sum concept part 1. So first and foremost, you have been trying very well for this test R2, although some of your result is not on your expectation, but it's okay, but at least you have tried your best. Now please take this video very seriously, because this is the video now to teach you how to do this test. And for those of you to get it wrong, please use a green pen to do correction. And again, for those of you to get it right, that's good. Please use this video as a revision before your mid-year examination. Okay, now again, have all your pens ready, and let's focus when you are reading this video. And one more thing, please also have your booklet R2 with you, so that you can kind of compare how is it different from what we have learned and with this test. Okay, now let's look at this test together. Now the first question here says that 3 out of 5 of the balloons are at the party are pink, 1 out of 4 of the remainder are blue, and the rest are yellow. There are 160 balloons altogether, and how many balloons are there yellow? Now the first thing here that you should notice is you see the word remainder, and the word remainder basically tells you that this is what? A remainder concept. It is actually a remainder concept. But the problem is it type 1 or type 2 or type 3? Now obviously you didn't see any like something plus 3 more, something plus 4 more. This is a type 3, right? Remainder concept, a little bit more. So this is definitely not a little bit more. So this is actually between type 1 or type 2. Type 1 is give you value later, type 2 is give you value first, right? So as you can see, 160 is the value, and the value is given at the end. So I know this is actually type 1. Give you value later. Okay, so again, you can flip to the booklet R2 now to try, but of course if you cannot, then let's do it together. Now here's that 3 out of 5 of the balloons at a party are pink. So what happened is, you know that there are a total of how many units? 5 units, right? So you count into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out of these 5, I know that 3 units are pink. So you label these 3 are pink. And here say that 1 out of 4 of the remainder are blue. Now, what is my remainder? These 2 are my remainder. But what happened here is my remainder is supposed to be 2, but here say is what? Here say that is 4, because 4 out of 1 are blue. Means that the remainder is 4 units, and out of this 4 units, 1 is actually blue. So but my remainder here is supposed to be 2. So one here say 4, one here say 2. So these 2 are supposed to be the same, but they're not the same. So you're supposed to make it the same by looking for LCM. So what's the LCM of 2 and 4? As you know, definitely is what? 4, right? Because 2 times 2 is 4. So it means that each of these units I'm supposed to cut into 2. So let me just cut into 2. Yeah. So now I've cut each of these units into 2. So I know out of these 4 remainder here, I have 1 that is actually blue. So I'll label here this as blue. And the question says what? The rest are yellow. Means what? Means that I will label this 3 as yellow. Now, the question says what? There are 160 balloons all together. My total is supposed to be 160. So it means that this whole thing is actually 160. Now, how many units are this? How many units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I know 10 units is actually 160. So let me just write here. 10 unit is 160. 1 unit is 16. And once you find 1 unit is equal to 16, everything is simple. Last part, how many balloons are yellow? How many balloons are yellow? I have 3 units, as you can see here, right? 3 units. So if 1 unit is 16, 3 units is what? 48. Okay, and that's it. You are done. Now let's just circle this, and of course you know you need to shade the answer using 2B pencil and optical answer sheet. Okay, so we are done with the first question, and I think this is kind of easy, nothing tricky. Perhaps it's actually easier than most of the remainder concept type 1. Let's look at question 2. Question 2. Now, if you look at this, definitely you should know what concept is this. This is what? Pattern concept. And this is pattern concept type number what? Type number 1. The number shape pattern. Okay, this is obviously the answer, obviously the question, so you don't need to make any guesses. So again, you know that if it's type 1 number or shape pattern, you are supposed to use your targeted number divide by the number of item in one set. Okay, so now what you need to do is to find out what is the pattern that is repeating here. So C A B C D E, C A B C D E, C A B C D E. So now you can see very obviously is C A B C D E, C A B C D E. So this is actually what happened, right? So this is what I call it as one set. And in one set, how many number do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my targeted number is 50. And I'm supposed to use what? 50 divided by 6. Correct. So what times 6 near to 50? So I know it's 8 times 6, 48. And my remainder is 2. And what does this 2 actually tells me? This 2 tell me is the second item in the set. What is my second item here? As you can see, it is A. That's why my answer is option number 1. Okay, again, nothing tricky, is exactly the same of what we have practiced. Okay, if you're not able to get this question, means that you are supposed to make it try your best again. Now let's look at question 3. Now question 3 is actually the same, is still under pattern concept type 1, as you can see from the above, type 1 number or shape pattern. But this will be slightly more, probably a bit more tricky. Let's look at this question. Mrs. Tan cuts a piece of ribbon from a roll of ribbon as shown below. The roll of ribbon has apples printed in repeated pattern. There are total of 345 apples and bows on the roll of ribbon. Now, just a reminder, when you see the word 345 apples and bows, means that the apples plus the bow add together is 345. Okay, how many bows are there on the roll of ribbon? So again, the same thing, what we are supposed to do is to actually find out the pattern first. So what's the pattern? Apple bow, apple bow, apple bow, apple bow, bow, apple bow, apple bow. So I kind of know that it's apple bow, right? So this will be what I say a set. So this is what I call it as one set. And in one set I have how many? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 basically. So the same thing, what am I supposed to do is to actually use 3, 4, 5 to divide by the number of items in one set. Is exactly the formula here, right? So let's try to divide 3, 4, 5 divide by 5. So 6 times 5, 30, 45, 9 times 5, 45. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any remainder. And perhaps this question is slightly different from what we have in the above, right? This question is telling us how many bows in that row of ribbon that we have that actually have 345. So the first important thing is that from my calculation here, I found out that this 69 is actually a number of, it's a number of sets. Let me just write here, sets. This basically tells me is that I have 69 of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 69, right? And now, can you tell me, one set, how many bows do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, right? So I have 3 bows. And from that, you can kind of find out what I want to do, right? if one set I have 3 bows, then how about 69 sets? Then you just use 69 times 3, and with your calculation you should be able to get 207, and that will be basically the answer. Okay, so this is basically a bit of upgraded version of what you have from the previous question, but it's still not difficult as long as you understand this basically means sets. Okay, yes, and we are done for the first page, and let's move on to the second page. Okay, so again, when you look at this question, you should immediately know that this is what? Pattern concept. Then this is type 2, what we call it as the grid pattern. And grid pattern basically it means that you are seeing a table here, right? So you can see that we are having this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. If I have to continue, it will be 22, 23, 24, 25, and so on, right? Of course, you can continue listing it down, but I don't need because I actually found something. But anyway, the first important thing here you should know is what is the formula that we learn when we are doing pattern concept. We know that it's supposed to be targeted number divided by something I call it as the loyal number. Now, what does it mean by the loyal number? Now, let me just write here again. Loyal number basically means what? That number, which is the loyal number, and its multiples will always stay in the same column. Teacher, what do you mean? So for example, if I have a number like 5, so 5, the number will be what? 5. The multiples will be what? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now all this, so on, there's a lot, will always stay at the same column. Means that if 5 is on column example C, the rest all will be in C. Example 8, 16, 24, blah 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 blah, right? All this number will be staying at the same column. Means that if it's in D example, then it will be all in D. Okay. Now from here, if you look at it, which number could be that loyal number? Is it 6? If you look at 6, 6, 12. Definitely no, right? They are supposed to be in the same column. So this is wrong. How about 7? 7, 14. Definitely no. How about 8? 8, 16, 24. And now you can see, right? 8, 16, 24 is staying at the same column. So that is what I want. This is my loyal number. Okay? Now teacher, in between there's 11 and 19. It doesn't matter as long as my numbers and its multiple is staying at the same column. So in this case, my targeted number is 356, right? So 356. I'm supposed to divide by my loyal number, which is 8. So let's find out the answer. 8 times 4, 32. 8 times 4, 32. And my remainder is 6. And as you know, my remainder is 4, sorry. Then, where is 4? As long as we know where is 4, that will be my answer. But the problem here is that there's no 4 here. Of course, you can find out by doing reverse, or the simpler way to find is just 8 plus 4. So 8 plus 4 is what? It's 12, right? So where is 12? 12 is at column C. So the answer is what? Column C. Okay? So that is basically how you do it lah. But of course, if you want to go backwards, you say, oh teacher, this is like a snake. So I can go up. This is 5. This is 4. So the answer is C. Is it correct? Yes, it's also correct. But the easiest is just, if there's 4, you can just straight away find it. If cannot, you just use this 8 plus this 4. Then you can solve it. Okay? So again, this is all what we have learned, and we have practiced many questions in your booklet R2. So you should know how to do it. Okay? If you don't know, please watch those lecture videos again and again and again. Again, let's move on to section B. By the way, just a reminder, you are supposed to use 2B pencil to shade this over. And when you shade, please shade nicely. In exam, you'll be penalized if you're not shading it properly or you are shading it out of the oval. Now, let's look at section B. Now, section B is something interesting. Here says what? John uses some 1 cm squares to form some shapes that form a pattern. What is the parameter of the shape for figure 5? Now, if you look carefully, figure 1 is actually a square, figure 2 is actually 4 square, and figure 3 is actually 3 square. Now, many of you, right, you are a bit too smart. What do I mean by too smart? Some of you go and immediately recognize something like, oh teacher, figure 1 is 1 square. Okay, I'm doing a wrong example. Figure 1 is 1 square, figure 2 is 4 square, figure 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Teacher, 149 is the what? The perfect square. So it's 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. Teacher, I noticed that this 1 is this 1, this 2 is this 2, this 3 is this 3. So if they are asking figure 5, it will be what? 5 square, 25. And you put that as your answer. Now, doing that is not wrong if the question is asking you what is the number of square in figure 5. But the problem is this question is slightly tricky. The question now is asking for what? It's asking for perimeter. Now, this is something you need to be very, very careful because they're asking for perimeter. It's not asking for the number of square. There are many of you actually do that way. You are very smart, you found it, but it's not the right thing. Okay? Now, let's look at this question. If I were to find a perimeter for figure 1, as you know, perimeter means what? The outer length, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So figure 1 is supposed to be 4. How about figure 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is supposed to be 10. How about figure 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So here is 16. Now, if I'm looking for figure 5, of course, there's something there's easier way you can try to draw. Some of you actually did draw it out. But you should also notice something interesting, right? 4. How to become 10? I plus 6. 10. How to become 16? I plus 6. Now, and from here you should notice that this is what I call it as what? What I have taught you is called the arithmetic sequence. As long as you see plus 6, plus 6, plus 6, this is called the arithmetic sequence. So this is actually what I'm trying to test you is the pattern concept, and this is type 4, the different figures. But this is the easier version. But of course, many of you did not read the questions carefully. That is the problem. So if you know plus 6, of course you know figure 4, figure 5, it will be what? Plus 6, then plus another 6. So in simple, it's just 16 plus 6, which is 28. That's all, and you are done. This is 28. But of course, since we are learning about arithmetic sequence, if I were to make this 5 to become something bigger, then you're not able to do it already, right? So you must learn what I have taught you, which is the formula. What is the formula for arithmetic sequence? dn plus 0 figure. Okay, like donut, then you got a big donut, right? How does this work? Means that d is the difference. Again, we have learned this in class, okay? D difference means this is 6, right? So this is the difference. So 6. N means that the number that we are looking for, which is the targeted number. dn means d times n, so 5. What's my 0 figure? If I have a figure 0 here, what will be the number here? So I know it's something plus 6 to become 4, right? So probably it will be what? Minus 2. Okay? So minus 2. So in simple, it'll be 30 minus 2, which is 28. And we are done. Again, of course, this question is a simple version. So that's why you can just do this straight away. But of course, if I change this number to be something very big, like 152, then you can't do this, right? That's why we need to always know that the formula. Okay? Okay, you must make sure you know this. Let's move on to question number 6. Okay, again, you see a question that I've been putting it inside, which is what? The remainder concept. As you can see here, there's another remainder, but this round, what type is it? Now, this is remainder concept, but since you are seeing this 27 is given at the beginning instead of at the end, so this is type number 2. This is give you value first. Again, as you know, when you are doing this question, you should start with that 27 first. Again, you can always refer back to your booklet. What we are doing here is exactly the same, nothing tricky, okay? Now, a shop have a number of bags for sales after selling 27 of them in the morning. So I sell 27, so I don't know 27 how much, so I just like this. 27, this is for morning. Now, here says what? And 5 out of 9 of the remainder in the afternoon. Remainder. Does it related to this 27? No. So I'm drawing like this. This is my remainder. And out of this remainder, which is 9 unit, I actually sell 5 unit in the afternoon. So I cut into 9. So this is 9. Now I have 5 in the afternoon. So let me just drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the afternoon. Now, and if you look carefully, what happened is this is what I left. Correct. This is what I left. My leftover is supposed to be 4 unit. But the question here says what? It was left with 1 out of 3 of the bags it had at first. Now this question is reminding you that hey, the leftover here is supposed to be 1, whereas the total is supposed to be 3. But the problem is leftover on top here say is 1, but my leftover at the bottom is supposed to be 4. These two are supposed to be the same, but they're not the same. So you're supposed to make it the same. I'm looking for LCM. What's the LCM of 1 and 4? I know definitely it's what? 4, right? So you're supposed to make this one, the highlighted one here, to become 4. So what do? I times 4. Oops. Let me just erase this. I'm supposed to times 4. So I times 4 here, I times 4 here, and now it's supposed to become 4 out of 12. Now, many of you stop at this step because you forgot that you're supposed to make that 1 and this 4 the same. So again, you need to revise this concept. Okay? Now, this one is what I left, and this 12 is my total. Now, and from here, what you can see is my leftover is already 4, right? So it makes sense already. But my total is supposed to be 12. But let's count. How many do you have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Teacher, the total is supposed to be 12 unit. But now I only have 9 unit. Means that the 3 unit actually disappeared. Where is that 3 unit? And of course, as you know, that 3 unit is this 3 unit. Correct? Because the total is supposed to be 12. And now that 3 unit is 27. And if that 3 unit is 27, then 1 unit is supposed to be 9. Now, also have many of you that are able to do until this stage, which I'm actually kind of happy with it. But the problem is you forgot to read the question. The question says what? How many bags was sold all together? Means that it's sold. Do you count the total? No, right? The question did not say the total. It's sold. Again, many of you should say, oh teacher, the total is 12, so times 12. No. The question is asking what? Sold. So how many unit? In the morning, I have 3 units. In the afternoon, I have 5 units. So add together is supposed to be 8 units. So 8 units supposed to be 9 times 8, which is 72. And that's it. You are done. Yeah. Many of you don't know how to get, or many of you that get actually made this mistake. Very sad. Please read this question carefully. So if you're making this mistake now, as in test, I think it's still okay, but in e-exam, please do not make the same mistake. Okay, now let's continue and look at our question 7. Question 7. Alison have some money at first. She spent 2/3 of her money on a watch and 1/4 of the remaining of the money on food. She had 360 left. How much did she have at first? Now again, the same thing. When you see the word remainder, you know that I'm asking what? Remainder concept. And I believe at this point of time, you should immediately be able to recognize that this is give you value later. Okay, because the value is given later and there's no a little bit more. Okay, now just look at this question. Alison has some money at first. I don't know how much the money, so I just draw a big model here. And she spent 2/3 of her money on a watch. So means that if she have 3 units, she will have spent 2 units on the watch. Wow, so expensive. And 1/4 of the remainder of her money on food. My remainder here is supposed to be what? 1, right? But here says what? My remainder 1/4 of her money on food. But here is saying that if my remainder is 4, I will spend 1 unit on food. My remainder is 4. I spend 1 unit on food. This remainder here says is 4, but the remainder at the bottom here says 1. So as you know, right, these two are supposed to be the same, but they're not the same. So you're supposed to make it the same. We're looking for LCM. So what's the LCM of 1 and 4? 1 and 4. 4, right? So I'm supposed to cut this into 4. So cut into 4. Cut into 4. Cut into 4. And now of this 4, I know that this one is supposed to be food. Very good. Then this 3 is what I left. And of course I know my leftover is what? 360. So immediately you can do what? 3 unit is 360 and 1 unit is equal to 120. Okay, now many of you able to get this stage as well, but the problem is you did not read the question. How much money did she have at first? How much? As you know, the total is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the total is 12 units. So 120 times 12, and the answer is 1440. That's it, you are done. Okay? Yeah. So please be very careful when you're doing this question, because it's something that we have practiced. It's nothing tricky at all, okay? It's something that you just need to internalize, make sure you remember, then you can solve it, okay? Again, all of these questions so far, none of the questions are tricky. The only issue that probably some of you have is that you forgot to read the question carefully, or second, you just didn't learn it well. So please take the last few days here to make sure you know how to do it, okay? Now let's move on to question number 8. We're in page 4 already. Now question 8. The roofs are blue, red and yellow. So you can just write here blue, red, yellow. Now look at here. The ratio of the blue rope to the red rope is 5:4. Now in class I have taught you, right, if you see ratio says that 5:4, basically blue means what? 5 unit, red means what? 4 unit. So you actually can just immediately write here 4, immediately write here 5, write here 4. because that is what it means, right? 5 unit, 4 unit. But in ratio, we are a bit lazy. We don't write that U, but that does not mean it's 5 cm or 4 cm. Okay, that basically means 5 unit, 4 unit. Now, many of you know this quite well, but the problem is, again, you forgot that what that fraction mean. Here says what? The length of a yellow rope is 2 over 3 of the red rope. Now, again, there's something that I'm a bit sad because many of you forgot. If I say A is 2 over 3 of B, remember, this A is this 2. This 3 is this B. And it means the same thing, that A is actually 2 unit and B is actually 3 unit. So to get the idea. So it means that this yellow rope and this red rope, yellow rope supposed to be what? 2 unit. And this red rope supposed to be 3 unit. And of course, when you write down here, we don't write that. So we just write here, yellow supposed to be 2. Now, some of you got it, but you write here 2, which is wrong. Why? Because here is red. Can you see here? What happened is you are supposed to write 2 here. Now, this is slightly tricky. Yellow rope supposed to be 2, so you're supposed to write on the right here. The red rope supposed to be 3, so here is supposed to be 3. Many of you write here as 2, write here as 3, which is wrong. Okay? Now, once you reach this stage, you know that red is referring to the same red rope, so it's supposed to be the same, but they are not the same. So you are supposed to make it the same by looking for LCM. What's the LCM of 4 and 3? 12, right? So look at here very carefully. Here is supposed to be times 3. Here is supposed to be times 4. But if you times 3 here, you are supposed to times 3 here. If you're supposed to times 4 here, you times 4 here. So the new ratio is supposed to be 15, 12, 8. Now, don't straight away write your answer here. Read the question first. I want blue, which is 15. I want red, which is 12. I want yellow, which is 8. Then you make sure you get it done. Okay, because this sequence that what they want can be different from what you have listed here, right? So you must make sure you check. Okay, again, this is not a difficult question, and this is what you have learned, right? This is called what? This is called the repeated identity concept. Some of you write fraction here. Again, don't write fraction. Okay, right, like something like this. Now let's move on to question number 9. Okay, now let's look at this question. Now this question, let me just take some time to read first, then you try to think what concept would this be. Melvin baked 259 more cookies than Nancy after each of them sold some cookies. Melvin had 2/5 of her cookies left. Nancy had 3/4 of her cookies left. Both Melvin and Nancy had the same number of cookies left. Now, when I mention the word same number of cookies left, somehow you should know that same means that it's supposed to be equal. And you should know that this is what concept? Equal concept. Correct. But now, the problem is, this is slightly confusing, right? Which one? Which concept? But if you see something like so, then left, so left, I think somehow you should be able to guess, right? We have been doing a lot of questions about so, then left. Then what type is this? Now, if you are able to pause this video and go and read your booklet, you'll be seeing that we have been doing so many questions about this. And you should know that this is type number 1. Common numerator. Again, what the question that we are giving here is again something that you have been practicing a lot. Okay, now, and as you know, when we talk about this concept, I will always suggest you to write it nicely, like kind of a table, but it's not a table. Melvin and Nancy This is so, this is left. Now, here is what, after each of them sold some cookies, Melvin had 2/5 of her cookies left, right? Now, left, I will just write here, 2/5, Melvin, left. Again, some of you write wrongly. This one is very clear, right? This is Melvin, left. Nancy, 3/4 of her cookies left. 3/4 of the cookies left. And what they are saying is that the left is the same. So this left is the same. Huh? Teacher, then do we need to find so? I mean, the question didn't say so, right? So, I mean, didn't want us to find so. So we don't need. So teacher, means that we can remove this. Yeah, we can just remove this. Now, again, once we have this left over here and this here, can you just tell me that the one on top here, let me just highlight, 2 and 3 is supposed to be what? 2 and 3 is supposed to be what? What does it represent? It represents left. Now, how about this green color part? Oh, sorry. How about this green color part? 5 and 4. What does it represent? This represents what? The total. Example, 5 is the total of what Melvin have. 4 is the total of what Nancy have at first, right? Many of you confused again. Now, we've been practicing this because I'm afraid that you guys confused, but you guys still make the mistake. What they are saying is the same is the left. So which two numbers supposed to be the same? It's supposed to be 2 and 3 because the question says left is the one that is same. So you're supposed to make the numerator the same, which is this 2 and this 3. And the same thing, you will need to find the LCM of 2 and 3, which is 6. Now, many of you, really many of you actually make the 5 and 4 the same, which is the total. Again, you have made the same mistake that student law has made in the class, right? So 2 times 3, 3 times 2. And if we times 3 here, we times 3 here. If we times 2 here, we times 2 here. So now the new fraction is supposed to be 6/15, and the new fraction is supposed to be 6/8. Now, look at here. Now, I have found this 15, means that Melvin at first have 15 unit. Nancy at first have 8 unit. But don't forget, Melvin have 256 more cookies than Nancy. So this is actually 259 more than this. So what you are supposed to do is 15 unit minus 8 unit is actually 7 unit. So that 7 unit is actually what? Yes, the 259. If 7 unit is 259, that 1 unit is actually equal to 37. And once you write 1 unit is equal to what? Everything is simple. But let's look at the last part. The question now want what? How many cookies did Nancy bake at first? Again, I'm looking for who? Nancy. So you are supposed to find Nancy. Nancy, the total is what? 8 unit. So 8 unit is equal to 37 times 8, which is 296. Yes, and the final answer is 296, and you are done. Okay, so that is basically for question 9, and let's move on to the next question, question number 10. Okay, now question 10, it should not be a difficult question as well for most of you because you have practiced this again and again and again. Okay, now let's look at this question. Here say that Jane and Evelyn had an equal number of stickers at first. Oh, when you say the word equal number of stickers at first, immediately you should know this is equal concept. And type, which type? Type 1, type 2 or type 3? You should know it's type 2, right? Because this is equal stage and this is before. Just very obviously, right? So again, when you know that this is type 2, you should immediately draw like this. Jane, Evelyn, and just dot 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 dot, and just draw the model here like this, like this. Many of you lazy, you don't want to draw and you make mistake. Now, here's it what after Jean gave away 30 of her sticker. So if I give away 30, means that I will cut away 30, right? So I will just cut here. Yeah, this is 30. So this is what I gave away. So let me just highlight this to represent that it gone already. Okay. Now, Evelyn bought another 12 stickers. So it means that I have extra 12. So this is how it looks like, right? Now, and what happened is the question says Evelyn had 4 times as many stickers as Jane. Huh? So Evelyn now have 4 times. So I would say that this is what I have now is 4 units. And Jane will be how many units? If I say Evelyn have 4 times, means Evelyn have 4, Jane have 1. So it means that this is 1 unit. Now, of course, if here 1 unit, then here will be 1 unit. If here 30, here will be 30. If the whole thing is 4 units, here is 1 unit, then here will be what? As you know, it's 3 units. So 3 units is 30 plus 12. And 3 units is 42. If 3 units is 42, means 1 unit is what? 1 unit is 14. And that basically tells you that this is actually 14, this is actually 14. Okay, simple, right? Now the last part, let's read the questions very carefully. How many stickers did each of them have at first? Now the word each here is very important. Means what? Means 1% at the beginning is how much? 1% at the beginning means that it's just here to here, right? So I can just do what? 14 plus 30. That's it. 14 plus 30 is 44. And that's it, we are done. Okay, I think this is not very difficult. Some of you made mistake because you didn't read the word each. You go and times 2, which is wrong. Some of you go and find after. Some of you forgot the plus, all this mistake lah. So you need to read the questions very, very carefully. Okay, now let's move on to section C, question 11. Okay, so let's look at this question. Now, again, when you see this question, you see somehow able to find it, the answer. Why? Because you see the word remaining, means that it's a remainder concept, and the value is given at the first. So you should immediately know that this is remainder concept, and this is type 2. Give you value first. Correct. Okay, so let's look at this question. A baker had a bag of flour at first after using 45 kg of flour on cakes. So I use la. This is 45 and this is on flour. Oops, on cakes, sorry. And what happened? He used 1 out of 5 of the remaining flour on cookies. This tells you that my remainder is supposed to be 5. And out of this 5, I use 1 on cookies. So I'm supposed to draw another model here. Cut into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one is on cookies. Now, this is what supposed to be left. Now, look at here. He had 1 out of 2 of the bag of flour left. Now, if I say I have 1 out of 2 of the flour left, means that this 1 supposed to be left or this 2 supposed to be left. He had 1 out of 2 of the bag of flour left. This means that the 1 is left. The 2 is the original total. Correct. So my leftover here is 4. My leftover here is 1. 1 say 4, 1 say 1. And you know that these two are supposed to be the same, but they're not the same, so you're supposed to make it the same. I'm looking for LCM. So I'm supposed to times 4 times 4. So here is 4 out of 8. Now this means that when my leftover is 1, 2, 3, 4, my total is supposed to be 8. But teacher, there's a problem. What problem? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 leh. 8 unit minus 5 unit is 3 unit. Where is that 3 unit? And you know that 3 unit is here. So I know 3 unit is equal to 45. And if that 3 unit is 45, 1 unit is equal to 15. And once you find 1 unit is 15, everything is simple. Now here say what? How much flour did he have at first? I know at first means it's the total, right? Total is how many unit? 8 unit. So if 1 unit is 15, 8 unit is 15 times 8, which is 120. Okay, simple. So I think this is not very difficult. This is something that you have tried before, right? Now let's move on to question number 12. Now let's look at this question together. Now here's that a basket of oranges was shared among 3 children, Lucas, Mia and Noah. Lucas received 2/5 of the oranges plus 5 more. Wait, Mia received half of the remainder plus 7 more. No. If you see the word remainder, you can somehow say it's remainder concept. And if you see like plus 5 more, plus 7 more, you know immediately this is what? This is remainder concept. Type number what? Type number 3. And this is what we call it as a little bit more. Okay? Now when you see this a little bit more, everything is very nice, right? It's very simple. So if I have a basket of oranges, so just imagine I have a basket. Okay. And what happened is I'm sharing among 3 children, Lucas, Mia and Noah. Lucas, I open up to Lucas, 2/5 plus 5 more. But what is my remainder? My remainder is 3/5 minus 5, correct? If I give 2 out of 5, I left with 3 out of 5. If I give him 5 more, then I will have 5 more lesser, 5 lesser, okay? So out of this remainder, I give Mia how many? Half of what I have here plus how many more? 7 more. So I plus 7 here. If I give him half plus 7 more, then I will left with another half, but I need to what? Minus 7. And this is what Noah received. The question says what? Noah received 40 oranges. Means that this is equal to 40. And what am I supposed to do to find the oranges at the basket at first, which is this one? Now, what I'm supposed to do is to from here, go and walk backwards and follow this walkway and go back. So how? I'm supposed to start from here and walk backwards. Now, when I walk backwards means everything will reverse. So 40, walk, minus 7 will become plus 7. Walk. I'm supposed to divide by what? I'm supposed to be dividing 1 times 2. Of course, I don't need to divide 1 because it will be the same answer. So 47 times 2, I will get 94. Walk. 8 minus 5 will become plus 5. So 94 plus 5 is 99. Walk. 8. 99, I'm supposed to divide by 3. And I'm supposed to times 5. Very good. And the answer is 165. 165. That will be my answer for question number 12. Okay, so something simple, right? I think most of you are able to do this question if you really follow me doing the branching and working backwards. Okay, of course some of you choose not to do that, you just leave it blank. Some of you try your own method. is okay if you know how to do it, but if you don't know, please just follow the method that I've shown you. Okay, now let's look at question 13. Now question 13 will be slightly a bit more, I would say, challenging, because this is actually equal concept. Let me just write here, this is equal concept, and this is type number 3. But this type number 3 is equal stage after, but this is actually slightly different from, I would say it's just slightly different from what we have learned, but the concept is the same. So this will be slightly challenging to some of you. Okay, so let's look at this question 2. But anyway, I still saw some of you that are able to get it, or at least to get the first stage or second stage idea, which I'm kind of appreciate and kind of happy with it. So let's look at this question. The ratio of the number of apples and pear in the supermarket was 5 to 6. 1 out of 4 of the apples and 171 pears were rotten. The rotten apples and pears were thrown away. In the end, there was an equal number of apples and pears left. How many apples were there at first? So what happened is there's a before, there's the after, and I know the after actually is what? The same, because at the end is the same. So what I would suggest you always to do is what? You should draw the model. Oh, sorry. So this is apple, this is pears. So let me just dot. So this is after, and after they are actually the same. I know before it's supposed to be the ratio of 5 to 6. Now, something very important to take note is what? Here say what? The ratio of apple to pear is 5 to 6. So apple is supposed to be what? Apple is supposed to be 5 unit. Pear is supposed to be 6 unit. Now, here say apple, 1 out of 4 of the apple were rotten. Teacher, 1 out of 4 of the apples were rotten. Means that if there are 4 units of apple, 1 unit is rotten. But teacher, means that I have 4 units of apple, but here on top here say I have how many? 5 units. So one say 4, one say 5. These two are supposed to be the same, but they're not the same. So you're supposed to make it the same by looking for LCM. So what is the LCM of 4 and 5? Which is 20. So 5 times what become 20? 5 times 4. Oops, I should not use this. So 5 times what? Times 4. And if this times 4, this one also need times 4. And 4 times what become 20? 4 times 5. If you times 5 here you also need to times 5. So, or in simple, I'll just write here times 4 times 4. So in simple, apple supposed to be 20 unit, pear is supposed to be 24 unit, and here, let me just write here, 5 out of 20 are rotten and being thrown away. Now, that basically means that at first, I have 20 unit and I throw away 5 unit, and after I throw away that 5 unit, I left with here, correct? Means at first I have what? I have more, right? I have 20 unit, then I throw away that 5, now I left with 15 unit. Means that at first I have actually even more, and this is 5 unit, correct? After I throw away, so this one's supposed to be 20 unit lah, okay? Then of course no, I know this is actually 15 unit. Make sense? I have 20 unit at first, I throw away that 5 unit, now I'm left with 15 unit. And of course, this is for apples. For pears also interesting. What does the pear say? The pear says that 171 pears were rotten and were thrown away. Means that at the beginning, here also have 171. And I know that at the beginning here have 24 unit. Why? As you can see here, is 20. Oops. As you can see here is 24 unit. That's why here total is 24 unit. Okay, and now what did you see here? From here, what you can try to compare is that this is 24 unit, so I know that this is 15 unit. If this is 24 unit, this is 15 unit. Now can you tell me what is the unit here? 24 unit minus 15 unit, that is actually 9 unit. So this means that this is 9 unit. If that is 9 unit, then of course I know 9 unit is 171. And if this is 171, 1 unit is equal to 19. Now, once we find 1 unit is 19, everything is simple. Last part, how many apples were there at first? Now, at first means that I'm talking about the whole thing here, right? Which is what? How many unit? 20 unit. Again, this is at first, this is at the end. So 20 unit, if 1 unit is 19, 20 unit is 380, and that's it, you are done. Okay, now this question, honestly speaking, is a bit upgrade level, just a bit from what you have learned, but the concept is always the same, right? Okay, it's the whole key idea is still the same. But I'm kind of actually happy that some of you are able to find out this, that these 5 and these 4 are supposed to be the same but not the same. If you get this, this is actually very good that you can move on to the next step. Some of you are able to get it, but you're not confident to move on to the next step. It's okay, at least you have tried, at least you have tried your best. Okay, now we are finally at almost the last question already. Now, obviously when you see this question, you should know immediately this is what? Pattern concept. And this is type number 4. This is different figures. Now, let's look at this question together. Now, here say the shaded square and unshaded squares are used to form the following pattern. The first 4 figures of the patterns are shown below. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. The table below shows the number of shaded square and unshaded square used for each figure. Okay, and you have question A, B, and C. Now, I hope you still remember, I have actually listed down before the things to check. Now, I have actually taught you every time you are supposed to check a few things, right? Now, the first thing that you are supposed to check is what? Is there a link between the figure number and also the given number? That's the first thing you're supposed to check. Okay? Means that, as you can see the table, right? You have this 1 here and this 1 here. Is there any link between them? Or this 1 and this 5, is there any link between them? Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing that you are supposed to check, is there arithmetic sequence? Okay? The third thing you are supposed to check is what? Is the triangular number sequence. And the fourth thing you are supposed to check is what? The perfect square. And the fifth thing that you are supposed to check is that is there any special thing about the odd number and also or the even number. Now let's check the first thing first. Figure number and given number. 1, 1, is there any special? 1 times 1, 1. 2 times 1, 1. No, 2 times 2 becomes 4. 3 times 3 becomes 9. 4 times 4 becomes 16. Not a special link. I mean, I know some of you immediately you got it something already. But anyway, let's try to see first. 1 and 5. 1 times 5. 2 times 5, 10. No, that doesn't have a very special link between this and this given number. So let's check second one. Is there any arithmetic sequence? Let's check. 1 plus what? 3. 3 plus what? 5. 7. Now, some of you really go and 3 plus 5 plus 7 and plus go and find out the answer. Again, when you see something like this, you don't look at it anymore, because I Because some of you listing down, you got the answer, but there are also a few of you that list down and add wrongly. So, no. Now, how about the next one? Is there any arithmetic sequence? Plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. Now, what I should notice now is that number of unshaded square is actually the arithmetic sequence. Teacher, what do you mean? This means that you are actually plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So what's the next one? Another plus 3. So here's supposed to be 17. So okay, so we are actually able to spot out arithmetic sequence here. Next one, triangular number. Is there a triangular number here? Now, if you forgot what is triangular number, go and read your booklet R2. If you look at it, obviously it is no. There's no triangular number. Now, how about number 4? Is there any perfect square? And yeah, you should notice, right? 1 is what? 1 square. 4 is what? 2 square. 9 is what? 3 square. 4 is what? 4 square. Then 5 is what? 5 square lor. 5 square is what? 25. Now, if after you're done with 4, let's check odd and even number. I mean, obviously no more lah, because you have already done with these two number, right? So you already found this is perfect square. This is arithmetic. So odd and even number is not important anymore. But I have told you, after you have done checking 5, you must go back to 1. And now from here, you should be able to see what? 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. So this is actually the same. Okay? Now, let's try to find out B. How many shaded square, which is this one, shaded square, are used to form pattern 12? Again, if you do a plus 3, plus 5 like this, definitely you will take some time. But for you, if you found out this is perfect square, you just need 12 square, means 12 times 12, 144. Question B, 144. I know this will be a heart attack for some of you that really go and plus 3, plus 5, plus 9, plus 7 or something. Yeah. Anyway, let's look at question C. A figure in the pattern has 65 unshaded square. What is the figure number? Now, this is interesting, you know why? Arithmetic sequence, you know that the formula is what? D n plus 0 figure. Correct. This will actually help you from the figure number and help you to get the given number, which is example the unshaded square. So let's try to form our formula first. My D is supposed to be what? 3. What's my N? N is something that I don't know, which is my targeted number, right? My figure number. But this round, they are asking us to find a figure number. Oops. Now, plus, what is my 0 figure? If there's a 0 here, what is my number here? It's supposed to be 2. Plus 2. So now, let me just scroll down here. If I want to go from figure number to my given number, I know usually I will do what? I will actually times 3, then I plus 2. Correct. This is what I usually do, right? I will times 3 first, then I will plus 2 to find a given number. But this round, what is interesting is that the figure number is not given, but I'm given the given number. I'm given the given number, which is 65. So what am I supposed to do to find a figure number? I'm supposed to reverse. If I were to reverse, means that everything will turn back. So 65 is my given number. Now I want to turn back, right? So plus 2 will become what? Minus 2. Times 3 will become what? Divide 3. So 65 minus 2, 63. 63 divided by 3 is equal to 21. So my final answer is 21. And that's it. Then you are done. Okay? But of course, for some of you that are a bit better in algebra, you know that basically means 3n plus 2 equal to 65. 3n equal to 63 and n equal to 21. Now this is for some of you that are a bit better with algebra. Yeah, if you want to move on with that way. Okay, so yeah, finally we are actually done with this test R2. Yeah, many questions that are slightly interesting, but there's nothing difficult here. Why? Because all of these things you have learned in your booklet R2. Okay, again, if you feel this test is difficult, means that you really need to make good use of booklet R2 and revise and revise and revise. You only have a few more days left for your mini exam, but these are extremely important for you to score well in your mini examination. Okay, so I think I should stop here and feel free to rest a bit after watching this video. Okay, thank you, see you, bye bye.